morning, everybody. Artie Fuddy here from AUSMERICA Railroading in Australia. It's 10 o'clock here tonight. Putting it to 10 o'clock because a lot of American viewers have been saying that it's too early. Now I lost some other ones, so would be much appreciated if some people can actually tell me, give me your thoughts of the best times and days that you like this channel to have a live show where all the Monterey gang can get together and have some fun. I will send an invite out to some of you to join in if you wish. So, yeah, it's been a pretty busy week on my layout this week. Been doing some, been fixing up the new section. The scenery is just about done. Excuse me. I need to still add on a couple more things to it. Tuesday I'm going to go up to Sydney. I'm going to be cheating with the platforms. I'm going to hopefully be able to get a hand on some platform pieces, because I want to put a station platform on the new section. It's going to be converted, but modified to fit in that small space. And also I need to install a containery on it. I will run you people over to the new section and see how we progressed to date. Switch the camera over. And that's the new section. I'm just going to go over and explain what I have done. So as you see, the ballasting's all been pretty much done. I still got to fix up a few loose ends, but I'm going to do that after putting the containery in. Now, I've pretty much done the road. I was going to use sandpaper, but I opted out of it. I've actually done a different style of the road bed. I went away from the sandpaper. I went to try to get a pre-coat finish with a rougher look over the top. So what I did was, underneath I actually painted with water-based acrylic, and what I used was, I had a big container of it. Just let me go and get it. It was the fine ballast. It was cinders from Woodland Cynics. I had a fair bit of this left over from when I was doing working around my coal tower. So what I'd done was I just sprinkled it over gently while the paint was dry. Once it was dry, I cleaned up the guttering a little bit. Yes, I do have some stones in there at the moment, but it doesn't matter. It happens in real life anyway. I'll let that cure and let the paint dry. Once the paint was dried, I used a little roller, like, just clean it up a bit. Use a little roller here, roll it down and give it a bit of smoothness, give it a bit of a compacted look. I added the side here with a bit of styrene and plaster. I want to put a little dirt refuge there for trucks or cars to park, which is a typical look in the country Australian roads, especially particularly the area that I'm looking at, which was mid-70s, late 80s. But mind you, there's still some towns at the back the same. I've done the road as well. I used actually some clay dirt that I got from up the road. Spread that out a bit, sprinkle that down over the wet paint, let that dry. Again, I went over the roller, and then finally I just misted it down, sprayed it down with white glue mix that some of us would use on the scenery and ballasting work. Now that still is a little bit damp, so it is going to change its colour. There is a few little ruts in here, but being a typical dirt road, there are a bit of potholes. I can fix some of that up, but I'm going to leave the rest of it behind. So it's pretty much done now. I end up putting a little roadway there, here, that either goes to either another town or a farm. What happened was when I was doing the little hills with the styrene broke when I was carving it. So it sort of screamed out and saying it wanted the road. So I put a road in there. And I've just gone around and done some quick grass scenery around the side. Before I stop modelling, what I will be doing, I will be putting white guideposts on the side of the road like we do see in this part of it. I might put some up around in here too. I'll wait and see yet. If some of you guys would have seen on my later update, I've got the buildings to go into place. I'm still yet to work out exactly how I'm going to do it. But my main objective now is just to finish the track and get it up and going. So it's making progress. It's as you can see, there's a fair bit done. And good morning to Mel's, good morning Rick, and good morning Joe Rader. How are we, gentlemen? So yeah, as you can see, it's taking progress. Yes, the ballast does need tidying up a bit, and that will be done at a later date, next week or two. But now you guys get an idea and picture what it's going to look like. But the road's pretty much done now, and I'm quite happy and pleased the way it turned out. I surprised myself. So yeah, that's where we're at. It's all wired up. It's all operating. I just need to clean the track up a little bit more on it. And hello, Randall. How are we, bud? Just got to clean the track up a little bit better. There is a bit of ballast still stuck inside the rails, so that's got to be cleaned out. But I'm hoping to have the trains running on that session by midweek properly. It's Thursday my time. Some components didn't arrive, which I was hoping to finish all the wiring underneath. But the hobby shop that I get my supplies from out of Sydney decided to send it to my old address and not my new address. So yeah, I'm going to have to go up to Sydney and pick it up. In the meantime, I got some sample merchandise that I'm looking at doing for myself to raise a bit of money for my hobby and maybe throw it into a bit in the channel. I've got this, as you see, my sample t-shirt. I think this flag looks good with the Australian American flag up in a bigger portion. I'm not happy with it because it's just one of those iron-on printed things. I'm not happy with it. It's not screen printed. So I'm going to, hopefully those people find something that's going to do a better job on it. G'day, Pappy. You like the shirt? I'm going to try to get a better quality one. Oh, don't worry about them, Randall. Yeah. So, yeah, I've got this. The only modification I will do is that I will put. I'll try to get this right. The only modification I will do is put underneath here is AUSMERICA. And I will look at throwing that into one of those sites like what Pappy's got and raise a little bit of money on my hobby so I can expand it. And I can throw some back in the YouTube so I can keep up my content going, especially now since I'm not really doing not working as much as what I was. So I just need to make up that little bit of income that I'm missing out on. Now, other thing that I've got is this crowd where I got the shirt from, and I've got one of the sample mugs here. And it doesn't mean too bad, but I'm going to have to put in this one of my first options for my mug. I will put a YouTube logo on the bottom there. That's all right, Pappy. I'm not going to be on long either. It's 10 o'clock, so I'm not going to be on much on that long either. I've got a busy day tomorrow. I'm just showing you guys what I've got at the moment. You're working on Sunday, Pappy? Yeah, well, I haven't decided which one I'm going yet, Pappy. That's one sample. That was the first one. I messed up with the colour on this cup. Like on the handle, it was supposed to be dark blue, but it's more of a light aqua blue. So they really messed up with that one. You know, I'm going to have a sip of me Irish coffee. Well, that's still the same one. And then I've got, I mean, these samples are actually quite cheap. They only cost me about $7 Australian, which is probably about $5.50 US. And here's another one with the layout's name on it. Can't quite see it. Now I've gone with the yellow up the top with the layout's name in red. It's supposed to be a thicker green outline. It's basically working on the old high school's colour scheme. And that other cup was supposed to be the same colour as that. It's not too bad, but they got the logo on the wrong spot. It's supposed to have been wrapped right around, but it's only got into the middle of the mug. So that one's going to be out. This is done by a crowd here in Australia, but I am going to look into having the merchandise done by the same people that's having your stuff done, Happy. So these are just cheap samples, so I can actually get a feel for it up front. And for the price that they've given out, I mean, these samples were about $6 each. So yeah, Teespring, that's it. Yeah, I will get Teespring to do them. This is not Teespring, this is somebody else. Hey, Lee, if you want to come in, I'll send you another invite. Hey, Dave, how are you? Then I've got the plain white mug with the new picture on it, with the Alco and EMDs in the background, and of course the back with just a plain cup. With some of my people nearby here, they reckon this one's the nicest one out of them all. So I might actually go with this one. Don't look too bad. Yeah, that one don't look too bad. And I'm running out of room. I've got to really clean up this room up. The lucky last is and lucky last is this one. So I'm thinking about doing either this one here, or this one. And just keeping it white. Nice and simple. So these are the two that I'm thinking about going with. So you guys let me know what you guys think. Which ones you prefer to have in your collection. But this one here is basically got all the engines that ran in the 60s and early 70s, which is basically the theme that I'm working on. So, yeah, this one's not too bad. Well, you've had a rough week, so whatever you do, just take it easy and drive safely, have your breaks. The 12 hours is a long drive, even for the you like this one, Pap? You like this one, Pappy? Okay. Right, so you like this one? Okay. Yeah, they don't look too bad. I might get this done on the caps and that. Yeah, you can offer all of them and you can pick the one and we like the best. Yep. Well, here. You'll have to wait till after Christmas, Pappy, because there'll be more flights, there'll be more freight be able to move between Australia and the US, still to go via China or Japan. So, yeah, I reckon this one stands up pretty good. Yeah, I totally agree with you too. Pappy, I reckon this one looks good. And it's got the two best countries in the world. Australia on top and America on the bottom, where it should be. So yeah, I reckon this one will be all right. So yeah, as I said, these are just cheap samples. Teesprings, when I've seen what they do, are a lot better quality. So I think I'll go with them. This is some crowd opti print they call themselves, and they're based out of Sydney here. Yeah, you can see the quality's quite cheap, even though the turnaround's pretty quick. But okay. So this is what you think of when you think of me. Okay, mate. Right. Well, I think so. I think for a first off to get around with, I don't know if we get the option in Teespring or not, where we can have the option of two, but I'll have this and the I'm going to see if I can get this as an option as a mug and this one. So I'll see if I can get the two of the option. But yeah, I like this one. And it'll look good on the shirt. So when I'm in the US, you guys, next May, you guys can just keep an eye out for one of these flags, with no name on it. That'll be me. I did get one with the name tag on it, but it came out. Honestly, it came out crap. So there is a guy here that does screen printing, but I'm not buying out 500-600 t-shirts and shipping them all out in all different sizes. So I think I'll just go with Teespring and have them get them made up and send it out to the people that they require. So yeah, so that's what I've been working on this week. There's Randall. He can talk. Let me bring him on. G'day, Buttons. How you going?
Hey, Artie, what's happening?
Oh, just sharing my samples with my cups and bit of my layout as well.
I saw those are some nice cups there.
Yeah, I think I like the flag the most myself. It's nice and simple, and that's what my channel's branding is. So I think I might go with that one.
Well, they look good.
They're not bad for $6. Not bad for $6, and they're only samples. Yeah.
By the way, if I suddenly drop out, it's because I'm waiting on a call from rail crew to get me released from this trip. So,
You're fine.
if I suddenly just disappear, I was just going to say if I just suddenly just disappear, that's why. So
it's all right. We'll forgive you this time. It'll be your shout for drinks when I come over. Every time you drop out, it'll be your shout.
All right.
Excuse me, that'll be easy. So yeah, I'm just trying to get some merchandise up just to help me out with funding my layout and the hobby at the moment. I'm not getting while I'm on workers' compensation at the moment. I'll get a reduced income and I'll get my full income. And my hobby's suffering because of it. So if I can raise a little bit of money to put more towards my hobby, it'd be good. Yeah, so that's the plan of attack. So
it looks like we might have some action picking up here there. I was in there at the depot just a minute ago, and there's a couple of crews in there, so we know there's at least 2 trains coming. So,
yeah, well, I will be able to soon be able to go out. I'm going to do some live streaming from my old home station now. I just got to work out the times and the trains are going up and down the mountain. So I'm going to have a push pull for the mountain here because we about 3.6% grade going up this mountain. Some parts are 3.8. So it's quite steep. So I've just got to work out the times when the big heavy trains are going up, and I'll be able to get some more footages off that. Yes. But it's been quiet. Our coal traffic here is dropped by, I say by about 50-60%. For our export coals, we used to have coal trains coming up and down the mountain, coming from all corners. But that's slowly dying off now. And I think we've only got 1, maybe 2 steel trains, but they go out in the middle of the night. So I'm not staying out in the cold, especially with the weather we've been having. Oh, Pappy, the boss man's page, we tell him to go and get stuffed. Anyway, he probably can't say that to his boss. I can say that to my boss.
Say again.
Oh, I used to tell my boss when he says, "Oh, you got to come back. You got to come to work." I turn around and tell him, "Nah, get stuffed. I'm not coming."
Okay, sorry about that. I was trying to get out of the way so the yard van stuff can get out. So,
one time he says, "Oh, I need you. What are you doing?" And go, "I'm having a drink." And goes, "Well, I'll see you in the yard in 5 minutes." I don't drink, so I've got a good boss. We have our moments, but yeah, we can tell each other go and get stuff and use some other words, profanities to each other, and we still like, shake hands and go and do our work. So can't do that many workplaces, can you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know. I still can't get my camera to work, or I'd show you what's going on out here at the rail yard. But I still can't get my stinking camera to come on. So it
You
says
might
it's.
have, you might have to reboot the whole camera. You might have to go back to default settings and start all over again.
Might have to, but at least I can talk. So
Yeah, well, you can be telling us all sorts of bullshit.
yeah,
It's all right. We're going to use our imagination.
yeah. Well, I'm close enough to the tracks you can probably hear the train when they take off. So these northbounders, when they leave the depot, they're already going uphill anyway, so they're using a lot of throttle by the time they
Yeah.
leave the yard. So
Yeah, the engines that go up through the mountain here, they use, because we're on the bottom flat here, and they're giving a full stick to get the run up to go up the hill.
yeah,
So they can. So by the time they slow down, they're at the steepest point. Some of them do them all right, but um, some of them miss it. They don't throttle up fast enough down the bottom of the hill. Yeah, so that's going west. That's going up from my place. You've seen Creepy online, haven't you? Haven't you?
say again.
You've seen Creepy, haven't you?
I haven't seen his channel yet.
Yeah, but you know Creepy that comes on. This train line goes up towards his place, from my place to his place, and it goes up the mountain. He's where he lives. Here's the main junction for the line coming down to the coast here to Wollongong, and the main north-south line between Sydney and Melbourne. And to go from here to his place is all uphill. So
Well,
yeah,
I don't know the exact gradient they got up here at Leaves there. I've heard it's around 2% when they leave here there, and it crests at Koshkonong. So, which is about 8 miles from here, 8, 9 miles from where I'm sitting to the northeast,
yeah,
northwest, not northeast. Sorry about that.
yeah.
Oh, gotta go. Hang on.
Hey, there he goes. He's gone. Yeah, yeah, we're going to join in if you want, Lee. You still there, Dave? You're welcome to join in too if you want. Yeah, so I'm going to I'm trying to get most of this layout finished. And of course, the little one at home, she's still here, but she's starting to show the time's getting close to being up. But before I have the operation on my right hand, I'm going to go out and get some of this live streaming done, or even just to do the recordings. I want to get the layout up and finished, so I've got something to do while I'm parked up for about 2 months. I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. I want to get the other level up and whatnot, but that can happen next year sometime. I'll be more capable and able to do that. And a lot of components I will be able to get by then as well. So, biggest problem is trying to get the switches that the person needs. Like, I use the Pico Streamline points for switches. that are basically like this. They got a gradual. Yeah, here he is. Speaking of the devil.
Hey, what's going on? Morning,
Hey,
evening, morning, whatever it is over there.
you're doing it too. You want depending on what. What's this? You had breakfast? No, you didn't share it. Again. Good on you. Yeah. It doesn't actually look like that might be one of my old tracks. No.
Let me see.
Yeah, I'll tell you. That might have been my old track. Fancy buying your
All right,
track
that's
back with
better.
stuff. Yeah.
Comments. All right, I think I'm set. I had your show on in the background, still had to turn it off.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I was getting a feedback.
Yeah, no, you're right, Randall. You're just gonna have to videotape it, edit it all up, and share it with all of us. That's one way to skin a cat. Yeah, so you've seen how I progress with the new extension, have you, Dave?
No.
Here, let me show you. This is the progress I've done. I'll go back to it.
You did some work yesterday, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, and here it is. This is what it's looking like now.
Oh, the road's all painted. That looks good with the curbs.
I painted it, but I did something different to it. I was going to use sandpaper on it.
Yeah, remember you said that.
Yeah, I didn't. I decided not to. It was going to give me I haven't got the lacquer to seal the paper to start with. And a hobby shop that I was going to get the lacquer from is still closed. So I decided what I did was I painted the bottom with that black acrylic paint.
Yeah.
And then I sprinkled over the top. I used, where did it go? The Woodlands fine barrel cinders. And what I did was I just lightly sprinkled it and just gave it that, there's a name for it.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah, just give it that seal coat, like the pre-coat cover over the top. It's like the gravel mix.
Gives you a little texture.
Yeah, it gives a bit more texture. And of course, this is more an outback sort of a town sort of setup I want to use. And they don't normally have hot mix out there, especially in this era.
Yeah.
Which I'm trying to do like late 70s, early 80s, around that period of time. They just laid it down like this. This is the clay and dirt that I've got from up the road. That's still a little bit damp. It's going to change its colour. So it's going to be like a little parking bay in there for the trucks or whatnot, or cars in the side. And I've done the same up in here too. There's a few little holes, but it's a dirt gravel road. I mean, they're not always smooth.
No.
And to smooth it out, what I used was this little roller. To get
you rolled that in.
Yeah, I rolled it in and then I sprayed over the top of it. So it's come up pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good from here.
I'm happy with it. It's yet to change a bit of colour in it as it dries. Because I saved it being
that's okay.
dirt.
That's okay if it has different colors.
Yeah. Being real dirt, I just saved it in a bit more to let the glue bond into it. So it's going to be pretty hard. And that's pretty much done. I was hoping for my light to arrive yesterday in the mail, which it didn't. The more light, because I ordered some more.
Some guys just say, hey, guys. See, I got Joe, Lee, Mel, hey everyone. Good morning.
Yeah.
Pappy, good morning. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Just already said good morning. So for that.
Yeah.
Rick, Randall, I know Randall had to take off.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah.
So yeah, well,
we gotta figure out how to get his camera working because we could see so many cool trains because of where he works. If he get the camera working.
you might just need to give him your phone. There must be something with the setting. I'm even having problems with my phone at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's one or two of the apps that are actually doing it. You've got apps for this, apps for that, and now we've got apps for our passports and vaccine passports and all that. I'm only spending 3 weeks trying to get it fixed.
When I click the link to come in here, it takes me right to StreamYard. So that's why I had to shut off YouTube because it was playing in the background. I was hearing both things going on.
Yeah.
Delay. So I wonder if he has to go when he gets into StreamYard. If he's trying to do it on his phone, it's a little more different on your phone, but you got to go in and get your mic up and your camera up and allow that to it to be used. So I wonder if he has to do that or we're not figuring out. Somewhere in the settings, he has to allow StreamYards to use his camera.
But
I don't know how to do it, but it's got to be in the settings of either StreamYard or YouTube or just the phone in general.
But Jason does it.
Huh?
Jason watches YouTube and just goes in a StreamYard without no hassles.
Yeah, that's true. But he comes out all the time while he's driving to work and stuff.
Yeah, but he does it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I mean. It's got to be in the settings somewhere. The camera's not communicating with the program or with the app.
Yeah.
I remember when I was trying to film strictly on my phone using StreamYards. If I was to get more than like you and me and one other person, I would get a heck of an echo all the time. If I brought more than maybe two at the max extra. So 3 people. If I brought a fourth in, I get so much feedback on the phone when I was using that as my camera to do everything. So I do want to research. Like I was saying the other morning, I do want to try to get a different webcam that I could zoom in and out because then I could do stuff at the bench when I'm, whether it be a live stream or not. It just would be nice to be able to zoom in and out.
Yeah, that's what I want to do the next couple of weeks. But see, it all depends. See, a lot of times it's the bandwidth as well, and what your phone can actually handle, your computer can handle. See,
yeah.
Like with me here, like with 2 of us, I have no issues with my bandwidth. Like I'm on Wi-Fi on my laptop.
Yeah.
And it's coming from the other room. But if I have 3, it's borderline. But when I go to 4, then I'm having hassles with the bandwidth.
When there's 3 of us in there, it's not too bad. But like even when I have my live stream, but I think it. I don't know. No, we've upped our internet because my wife's working at home now, and her company actually is paying everybody a little bit every month to have better internet since they're all working at home, which is nice of them to do that. So most of the time I don't have too much trouble. Every now and again I'll have an issue with the internet. Like if she's still working and I'm doing a show like my Tuesday night show, On Track Tuesday, stuff like that.
Oh, no, you're doing 2 signal boxes. Are they kits? What kits are they? Kits by any chance?
Speaking of that,
I looked at some signal boxes too, but I want to get, I think it was the Bartman signal box. The Bartman one or the Walters one of them two. I was measuring for the height for the back court up behind my left shoulder. I want to put a signal tower there or box there, and I want to put a little camera in it. So you can actually look up in towards the rail yard here. I don't think this Australian signal box is going to be tall enough. Our biggest problem with the internet here has been there's a lot of excavation going on around here, and you've got some of these people that want to be machine operators, and they're hitting the cables, not getting a permit and whatnot. They're hitting the internet cables underground and not telling anybody. And of course, it's reducing our bandwidth and everything else. And then with the homeschooling that we've had, the school's going back to normal next week, like tomorrow actually. Yeah, they're all going back to school tomorrow, so I'll be able to use the internet properly during the day, because during the daytime we haven't been able to use the internet properly either. Yeah. So yeah, my
He said signal boxes, and I apologize. I've been wanting to text Jim Tedesco because he 3D prints a bunch of stuff, and one of the things he said in a couple videos ago is that he can 3D print signal boxes. So I wanted to reach out to him, and Mel made me think that I never did reach out to him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, there you go. I hope you remind you.
Sometimes if I don't think of it, if I don't do it when I think of it, forget about it. It's gone, you know. So
Well, that's something I bought. I bought these switches, right, for my for the panel. Where are they? Here they are. I've got the 3 colours, right? And then for the main power switch.
that's
I
okay.
know the red.
What are you cooking? Anything good, Lee? Sorry, I'm listening. Lee said he would come up, but he's in the kitchen cooking. I want to know what he's making. You guys
Yeah,
make
well,
dinner.
if you're going to be something good, doing something good, you better let us know.
I'm looking for bacon and eggs. Hey, the shirt looks good, man. Is that the new
Yeah,
one?
they just came out in the mail today on a Sunday.
Looks good. I like that. Nice.
Yeah, I might end up getting the AUSMERICA down there, or I might just leave it as it is.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted a channel on there, I mean, I'll put it underneath.
Yeah, I think I might just put their name on it underneath here for the time being, just selling as they is.
I wonder if you could do it. I wonder if you could do it diagonally across in between the two countries, AUSMERICA or something like that.
Well, down crossways.
Yeah, but no, divide it along that. You know how it's already divided like that on an angle? What if you could run the name that way to divide the two flags?
Oh,
Not across.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah. I don't know. It might.
Yeah.
See, I'm already. Okay, we're losing half the stars on the American flag here.
Yeah.
But underneath the Australian flag here, we've got a big star too. Right? You just got the Southern Cross, which is our mate. Oh. Get this camera. The Southern Cross, this is our Southern Cross, which is the main star signal. Even New Zealand's got it, but they got the red in the middle.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I might actually put that, or actually put the banner as I got on one of my channels, which goes along the red here. And go across.
Yeah, you can do that.
I might do that, because if I do it down here, the way these guys doing it,
it looks good. I like it. Either way, it's a cool looking shirt.
Yeah, but what they've done is they just got the cheap material that you print on and iron it on the t-shirt. That's all it is. It's not screen printed.
Yeah.
But then again, I got what I paid for. But it's only a sample to see how it looks. I mean, for $5 to get this done up for myself,
yeah,
it's not too bad.
Yeah, I still got to order the On Track Tuesday one. I was kind of holding on. I think the wife wants to get it for me for Christmas, but I probably should get one just to have for the show. You know.
What's that one?
The On Track Tuesday has the Teespring account now, shirts
Yeah.
and hats and things
Yeah.
and cups. But I think the wife has might order me some of that for Christmas, so I'm kind of waiting to see.
Right. And then I've got the other sample cups where I've got this one here.
Oh yeah, I just like
so-
that. That's just a cool looking flag. I mean, too bad we, you know, if we ever combine countries, that'd be a nice flag to go with.
Well, we're one of the strongest allies. Australia
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
United States are one of the biggest allies. Well, we are one of your number one allies.
yeah.
They've been for
Yeah,
a long
right
time.
along. Right along you've been.
Yeah. You know, so well, we've always had your back and you guys always had ours, but mind you, you got half of your installation here, so you got to be nice to us.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, look at when the first man landed on the moon, you wouldn't have been able to get to see it on TV if it wasn't for us.
Is that right?
Was all the feed and everything else came through here in Australia.
Huh. I don't know that.
Yeah, well, we're the one that picked up the signal before it got transmitted over to TV stations around the world. So this is one,
Yeah, I like that.
right?
Nice,
And
very
just
nice.
plain white. I'm leaning more towards that one too.
I like white. One of my cups is in black. Well, it's got white inside, but wrapped in black. It's okay.
Yeah, well, you're getting one of these. You like these ones because you like the
I
blue.
like that one. I like how it's dark, light blue inside too.
Yeah, and that was a mistake.
Yeah, but that's a nice mistake. I like that mistake. I
Yeah,
like that the handle's blue. That's almost my color blue.
yeah. So you're supposed to be in this blue.
Yeah, that's dark.
Yeah, and I've got the layout's name there with the
Is
same,
that your layout? Bud Young
Yeah.
Creek, Berkeley. Australia.
and that's
Is that
using
it?
the old.
How do you pronounce it?
Bud John. Bud John.
Bud Young.
Yeah, Bud John. Yeah.
Sounds Asian.
It's not though. Well, that's how I make fun of the Aborigines here. When they say that we're the founders of this, we're the natives of this land. I go, no, you're not. You're from China.
Yeah.
That goes to prove it, doesn't it?
Well, you're not really that far from China, are you? You got China, Japan, and then you're south of that, right?
8 hours flying, 8, 9 hours to Hong Kong, which
I
is
mean, that's
Yeah,
like me driving to South Carolina, man.
yeah, exactly.
Myrtle Beach.
It'd be like going from Toronto to South Carolina. No,
No, it's about
you're
8, 9
like going from New
hours.
York to Mexico.
I think it's about 9 hours. Well, for me to drive, anyways, it's about
Yeah,
8, 9 hours for me to go to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina from Cleveland.
because it used to take us what 8.5 hours to Hong Kong, and 9 hours to Osaka.
Mhm.
We used to fly for Ansett, and that was in the 747-300s, and that wasn't slow either. And this is using a new photo with the Alco.
I like that.
EMGs.
That's got a little bit of everything.
It's got both the Australian. It's got the Australian and the American. It's got 3 Americans and 3 Australians in that one.
That's sharp. I like that one.
Yeah.
I like them
For
all,
6
really. But is that going to be your one?
I don't know. I'm going either this one here and the flag, and the majority of people have been liking this one.
Yeah, I like that one too.
So
Well, you could always put the other. You could put them together. Put the on the back of that one. Put the other one.
I'll see the Teespring will let me do that.
I mean,
I'll say
I'm able to put stuff on both sides of the cup when I've made my cups. Because I usually put like they had seen on YouTube. Like, here, hang on a minute. I'll be back.
Oh, The back money's at his door. So we're going to see, we know how much money he's got on the bottom of there.
Most people are. Yeah, I really slowed down on my cup collection. I'm gonna get back into that. Well, this was just has my same logo on both sides, wrapped around the whole cup, you know.
Yeah.
Then the morning brew one, and on the
Yeah.
back, I was able to put, you know, that on it.
Now, you got that done through Teesprings too, wasn't it?
Yeah, all of these are through Teespring, and then of course Pappy. I don't know if he's still in here, but he's got like a whole nother logo on the back. Like I think he actually has this as the front logo too, an option, something like that. So I mean, almost all my cups have something on the back of them that I've gotten from guys. Some
Well, so that's what.
some people just put like their as seen on YouTube stuff on the back and just the logo on the front, you know.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Well, that's what I was trying. That's what I was attempting to do.
Hey, if I can figure it out, I know you can.
From this side, and this is where they messed up with the color on this one here, right?
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be dark. Now,
I like that light blue though. Of course, you know that's my logo. That's my logo color, so I like that light blue.
Now this is supposed to be a wraparound,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not. It's in the middle. That's not a wraparound.
No. And it's weird how it's on just the front like that.
Yeah.
Like it's like you want to be able, especially if you're having a show and you're drinking your coffee, you want people to be able to see, you know, whatever you want logo for them to see, you know.
Yeah.
So.
But what I actually wanted to do. Oh, here he is. He's back again. Hello. Shall we let him back in or not?
Hey guys, I'm back again.
What did you do? You derived the train, didn't you?
I have no idea what train it is I'm getting ready to assist. They're supposed to be finding out, so.
Hey guys, I'll be right back. I gotta get some more Joe.
Yeah, all right, hurry up.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Yeah. So what? Yeah. So you're an engineer, are you, Randall?
No. I drive the crew haulers, the vans that hauls the crews to their trains.
Oh yeah. So you're the what we call a shuttle driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we sometimes have to assist the trains that we take the crews to. So, which basically you're hauling from one end of the train to the other.
All right. Yeah.
For the most part. I mean, there are exceptions, but.
Yeah, but I mean, your trains are long over there compared to ours.
Yeah, we're averaging. I think according to Trains Magazine, we're averaging 7,000 feet here on their trains.
That's 70 cars if we talk car wise.
But I can tell you, there's several. It's way longer than 7,000 foot.
Yeah.
The MEM tolls, the Memphis, Tennessee to Tulsa, Oklahoma trains. I would say they're averaging well over 10,000 foot in length. Just judging by what the crews tell me.
Yeah.
I think there was one either yesterday or day before yesterday when I was working here. It was one that was 11,000 foot long and 14,000 tons. So, they're really asking a lot out of these locomotives, and they're doing it with 3 to 4 engines pulling them, usually 2 or 3 on the point and 1 DPU on the rear, and that's pretty much all they get.
Well, so the ones that go through the outback, like from Sydney to Perth, from east to no, we could say going over the paddock. There's really only one line that goes between, say, Sydney, Melbourne to Perth. And going across, we call it the paddock. There's only one line through there, and they're close to 10,000, 11,000 feet long on average. But now they're getting longer because they're joining both the Sydney train and the Melbourne train together at a little place called Port Augusta, right, to get the freight moving, because there's not really that much freight, but there's enough to make one train out of two at the moment. There's not really that much freight going like east west. He's trouble.
Oh yeah, they do that here too. They'll double up coal trains. And I've seen them double up stack trains too. The
Hello, Artie. Hello, Randall. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Lee.
Yeah, see, our longest train here on my line, I think.
Back in a minute, Artie.
Right, but I think the longest train we have here is about 5,000 feet, 4.5, 5,000 feet long. And yeah, they will go longer, but they're only during the night. But the passing loops or the passing signs we got here is only enough for the whole train's up to 5,000 feet long. Because it's more of a computer. I mean, yeah, it is a freight line, but it's also a commuter line. And it all goes through National Park as well. And I don't want to put more sidings in.
The longest train that I've personally seen, and I'm just going to guess on the length because I don't know how long this thing actually was, but it was a long one. I would say it was probably close to 17,000 to 18,000 foot long, because I crossed over the train at Bono, or not Bono, but Bay, Arkansas, which is give or take about 10 to 15 miles out south of Jonesboro.
Yeah.
And you cross over the BNSF there at Bay. And as I was crossing over the bridge, well, the train was actually going underneath the bridge. And I could see the head end. There was probably 4 motors on the point and then another 5 mid-train DPUs. And it just looked like it went on forever. So
they did try to do they did experiment with I think it was 100 car, 200 car coal train. Those coal wagons are 55 foot long. Only problem was when he went to in through this loop with the coal loader, the tail end of it was still probably about 1 kilometre or 2 kilometres, which is about 1.5 miles.
Well,
yeah, about a mile. It was still hanging out on the main line, and it stopped all the passenger trains from going in and out for about 2 hours.
They'll usually double up the empties here. I have heard them say that they've done it with the loads too. I have not seen that personally, but I have seen them where they've doubled up the empties. And those trains, an average coal train is about 7,500 feet in length.
Yeah.
You take 2 of them, you're talking 15,000 foot long, almost 3 miles long.
Yeah.
And one of the interesting things that happened, they had one come into the yard here, and it actually stalled here at the depot. The head end did.
Yeah.
And it had wound up losing signal to all of its DPUs that was on the train. So it was basically just pulling that 3 mile long empty coal with just the 2 lead motors and then dragging the others around dead. And it finally stalled here at the depot, and they played kind of played musical chairs with the lead power. They swapped it around, backed it back up to the train, then they turned around and swapped it back to the way it was, just trying to get where they get signal to the DPUs on it.
Yeah.
So
See, commonly we got one coal train. Like you see my lump of coal challenge, didn't you? With that lump of coal.
I probably hadn't saw that video yet. I probably need to check that one out.
Yeah, you ought to check it out. Where that lump of coal came from is from a mine just up the top here. That's not far actually from Creepy's place. My next door neighbour works at that mine. Now, that train there is, I think, about 50, 60 cars long. Now, okay, it's empty when it goes up the mountain, right? You only have one engine at the front and one engine at the back. And when she does start slowing down a bit, the back will actually start pushing up the hill. They're having the push-pull configuration. But now they're actually using more and more, because they're taking out a lot of loops out now, balloon loops, and they're putting and using the engines as in a push-pull configuration. There's not enough grunt for the train engines up the front. The crew at the back will just kick in. It's not in the DPU system. They've got a crew sitting in the back units and pushing the train along as required. However, you go at the top end, which you call the Pilbara at the West Australia, right at the other end, and towards the top of Australia. The average iron ore train there is about 6 miles long, 5 or 6 miles long, and they do have DPU units in the middle and DPU units at the back. And at the moment, they are actually, your crew want to keep the kit in the ear out, box their ears on this one. They are actually experimenting to have the trains being a crewless train. The operators will be actually sitting.
There goes the Z train.
They'll be sitting in an air-conditioned office thousands of miles away and operating that train, not physically being on the train.
Hey, I'm back. I'm back. Change positions.
Yeah, I thought you went down to Dunkin' Donuts.
No, damn it, I could have though. There's one not too far.
Mrs. got the car.
No, actually, I had to make sure she was up. Get her up while I was there. So, kill two birds with one stone. I got the coffee and get the wife up from in the morning.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. As long as you got your coffee, you can carry on your modelling.
Yeah.
See, the downside that I have in my area here, Randall, with the trains that operate out of Sydney and in this state, they're still running on the old-fashioned, ancient British rail system, which was small. The heights were small, the lengths were small, the rail gauges were small. I mean, we had to dig out the tunnel so we can actually have a double-decker train spinning. We couldn't use the big American engines in here because they wouldn't fit through the tunnel. The tunnels were too narrow.
Well, you know, the line here where I work, for the most part, it's not really able to support these 10,000 plus foot long trains. They can't really fit in any siding. In fact, I think there's only like 2 sidings on the entire their subdivision that can pull a train that size, and that's down there at Bono, and I believe the other one is at Diggins, Missouri. So,
but you must be putting a lot of stress on those rails and the wheels on those trains, especially towards the middle and the end of it. It's got to be putting a lot of strain on the flanges and the wheels.
Yeah. So what they usually do, they'll give the long trains the priority and have the shorter trains sit on the siding and wait on them. So
that's what they do with these going east-west here. I mean, even in the Pacific, which is the only passenger service that goes across the paddock, it's got a sitting aside and wait for the passenger train to come through, the freight train to come through. Which is about face. But then again, as the guys said around here, there's no money in passenger trains, the money's in freight.
Yeah. But the thing is, these mem tolls, they run at they're not fast trains. They run pretty slow because A, they're underpowered, B, they're so heavy. They're, like I said, 14,000 plus tons and 10,000 feet long.
That's nearly a third of a ship.
So
that's nearly a third of a ship.
Yeah.
No,
That's a lot of weight.
They're one of those 2 mile long ones.
Yeah, because I know the damage what they've been doing with. A friend of mine's passed away now, but I helped him out. The amount of wheels that we have to take over to West Australia, up where the iron ores are, just to replace the wheels because of the stress that the wheels go through on the long heavy freight trains, and they continue cracking and whatnot. Jack speed. Oh no, that's too slow.
And
Yeah,
see,
I don't mind slow speed, but that's too slow.
Jack speed is too slow. It's nice to sit there. If I'm working on the workbench, I will chuck his live stream on if there's nothing else to watch while I'm working on something. But you're thinking, can it go any quicker?
Well, look at Hillbilly. You put one on the other day with one of the ones he got from Jack. And I tell you what, actually my Broadway Limited CSX goes quicker than that, and that's slow.
I don't know if I'd buy a locomotive off of Jack. It runs them so much. Those things run for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's slow speed. But I think having them running them slow is actually does just as much damage as running them fast too.
Yeah, it does. If you run them slow, it'll run them. It'll damage them more.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it'll damage them more. I like running them slow, but for me, it's like, especially the last few videos I've done where I've run anything on this layout, I've been trying to run like N units and DPU units and stuff like that. So I've been running them slow because I don't know how well if they're not matched just right, they're pushing things off the tracks.
Yeah.
So.
I like to run my trains fast, and I kind of sort of paid the price for it once. You can ask Lee about that. He saw the engine, so.
I saw the end result of that. It fell off the layout.
Any trains all run fast as me passenger trains. They fast. Anything else is medium.
It derailed, and when it did, it turned towards the inside. And when it did, it tilted back over to its left and dug the snowplow into the scenery and cracked the snowplow on it. So there's actually a little small crack on the snowplow. There was a crash that happened prior to that where I laid them over on their side, and I got lucky and it didn't damage them at that time. So
it's like
we got away with it.
I've got a train I called Good Old Warrior. That's on my layout. It fell off this layout. It fell off on the loft layout. And all I do with it is clean the wheels, service the motor, and it doesn't miss a beat.
Yeah, but looking at your trains, though, Lee, they're the old Hornby trains where they were designed for that beating.
Yeah. But yeah,
they sound like the old blue box.
One. Let me see if I can go and I'll find it.
That's the same as out the blue boxes. They were the same.
Oh yeah, you can't kill those things.
No. I'm working on a Great Western at the moment. Well, I've got
all the details molded in, so there's not much to fall off. You might lose a horn, maybe break a ladder.
Yeah.
Other than that.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. You know when your trains run too slow is when when your train's been overtaken by a snail.
Yeah.
I was watching a stream one time, and I tell you what, I was looking at the backyard. I was looking at one. Oh, that one, yeah, they're hardy, those ones. Just don't let it fall on your foot, will you? You might break a toe.
Are they heavy?
I was watching one of his backyard. Look,
Oh, somebody's alive.
yeah. Look, that's how Jack wants to run his train. That's fine. I'm not going to criticise it there. But sometimes you've got to have a little bit of fun. I mean, there's no, if he's ever watching this, look, I'm not having a go at you, but I was watching the stream. That's the back, and I kid you not, by the time that train made a full circle, I have this snail that's gone halfway across the courtyard in the backyard before that train made a full circle.
Yeah, that's always slow. I don't know. I don't run
But
them
it
too
goes to
fast.
show how good he, but for him to be able, I've got to give him credit for him to be able to have a train running that slow.
Yeah.
He's doing some amazing work to be able to get it that slow. I cannot get him to go that slow. So my head goes off to it.
There's no way he
I
can
can't
run
get my
trains
trains
like.
to go that slow. My train, if the slowest, even though I'm DAC, my train, if the slowest I run it runs like a mouse.
Yeah, but you've got hobby trains. They only go what 2 speeds, stop and fast.
Yeah, exactly.
You were saying, Dave?
I have got other trains, but I need to work on them. So
What were you trying to say, Dave?
For Jack to be able to run his trains like he does, fast, slow, whatever, but for the amount of time he has him running, he does immaculate track work. There's no way you can do that if your track work is jacked up.
Yeah. Oh, look.
So I'll give him credit for sure.
And
he's a nice guy too. So I mean, it's
yeah, he's had a lot of time for Jack.
And
look.
I can go off and leave my trains and get something to eat and come back and they're laying on the floor. So
mine don't. If I have a train going around the outside leap on mine or the inside, I can go out the room downstairs, come back, and I can still hear it going round.
With my small bedroom layout, which is one of the layouts from the park, real small one, I used to take it out to the shows. When I'm watching it, I've got the train running on it perfectly, smoothly, no problems in the world, right? I'll go around to go to the bathroom, a cup of coffee, guess what? It derails. I've got a catastrophe. By the time I come back, there's a mess everywhere, all over the layout, and half it's on the floor.
Yeah, that's like mine. If I put the camera on mine won't work properly.
Yeah.
Well, if I put the camera on mine, or if I walk off and go to the bathroom or get a bite to eat or something, bad stuff usually happens. So
when I put the camera on mine don't like the camera being on, and they don't like getting video in. It's like I've got my live stream later. I'm running trains. I know for a fact I'm gonna have derailment after derailment on my live streams. I always do.
Mine haven't been going too bad. I have got a couple of spots which I've got to fix up.
Yeah, I've noticed I've got a problem with one of my points on the back end. As it goes through it, it'll go through it, but it's not getting the full voltage, I don't think. It seems to be slowing down.
Yeah, probably a combination of your blades or your pickup there somewhere. You're not getting the full power going through your joints.
Yeah, I need to look at it. I've sorted this one out. It was the blades on my front one. I think I need to clean the blades on the back one.
Yeah, I have fun because I do go with the club to a lot of train shows and do an exhibition. So you select your, like the girls, they select what clothes they take out for the weekend when they're going out. Well, I select what trains I'm going to take to the train show. Depending on the layout, we've got to run. The first day we've got to run prototypical. So I've got a prototypical train for that layout. But fine tune everything, couple little heights, everything will be perfect before I go to the show. Go to the show, the buggers won't work.
Yeah. It's like they don't like having cameras on them or like being in public.
I went to one train show at Liverpool, which is their big main show, the last big main show in the country. I ended up just quitting them one time and go, I'm just going to go and buy 2 new engines, which I did. And they ran fine.
Yeah, they always do.
Yeah. $600 later, which I was going to buy some carriages and that on it, because our engines here are not cheap. Yeah. So what are you working on, Dave? You going to work on a bit on your layout or what?
I was working on this this yard over here. I did some work yesterday on it. Get it in the camera.
Oh, cool.
But
Get in there, Dave. Take
Just-
time.
just by the grain elevator, you know. I got that all wired in and everything has power. Then all my BD20s up to the corner there behind me. That's the end of my track work. So I got all my walks in. I only have wires to one of them, my furthest one away. So I have to work on running the wiring for the rest of those BD20s to the AIU1. So I got that kind of mounted on a board over there. I put it on hinges so I can flip it under, and then when I drop it down, I can see the board. So I don't have to always be underneath the layout wire in that damn thing.
Well, that's what's going to
I spent a lot of time underneath the layout yesterday, and my legs and back are killing me today.
my shoulder.
Getting old, Artie. I'm getting old, man.
This part of my shoulder, but mind you, I've already had problems with from the wreck up around this area here. It's been recurring. Just been wiring that through, but that's what I've done the same thing where I've got my AIU and the first mini panel switched up. I've done the same thing. If I don't disturb the signal too much, okay, screwed on at the moment to the actual woodwork.
Yeah.
This is where I've got all my gizmos, but that's going to be put on a hinge, and it's going to be tucked away underneath as well when I'm finished.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's good to see to work with.
I had a couple hinges that were left over from a project I did a while back. So I had to use both of them because they weren't strong enough just to hold it up itself. So I'm going to look at getting some of those, more like those, I don't know, more of a snap hinge or something. I don't know. I just have to put a little hook or something to hook it up there. I don't know. Because I might do the same thing with the panel I'm making for this yard with all the toggles and stuff. I'm thinking about doing something like that where I can fold it underneath and out of the way. Because the aisles are only 30 inches, which is fine. But if you start adding stuff sticking out in the aisle, then it's going to be bumping into it and everything else.
Yeah.
So that's tuck under, you know.
Well, that's something I've got to think of how I'm going to do on my panel. I was thinking about having it behind my computer screen here now, but when I look at the desk that's going to be going here, it's going to be smaller than I am now. It's going to take up too much space. But what I'm thinking, but I can't even have it next to me where this panel is, because when I put the new layout, when I extend the layout, it comes up to about where my stomach is. Where's the mark? It comes up to here.
Yeah.
So I'm only going to have a very limited space. But what I'm thinking about doing, because I'm going 2 levels, I might have the control panel on the hinge, you know, like what you have on the TVs in the hospitals and that, where you can actually just move it around like this.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about doing that to it.
I wonder if you could mount it above the second, it might be kind of high, above the second level on one of those swivel mounts, maybe comes
Yeah,
down
just
as
swing it
well.
around. Yeah.
Swing
Well,
it
I'm thinking
down, and
about
then you
that.
gotta swing it down.
Yeah.
Who's the
Yeah,
guy that
yeah.
has the retirement railroad?
But see, up in here, I'm gonna
He
have
had something like that
another.
for his cameras.
Yeah. But see, I'm
Steve
gonna have a middle
Childress.
rail up here anyway.
Is that Steve Childers that has the retirement railroad?
Yeah,
Yes.
Steve
Yeah.
Childress.
He's got something like that. I just watched with his cameras. He has some kind of arm like that he can bring it out and swing it down.
Oh yeah, and he's got like it's like an arm in it with his webcams on.
Because I wonder if you could do that with your, with your control panel mounted up in the ceiling or on the wall above, somewhere, even underneath the second level, and bring it
Yeah,
out.
just bring it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about doing. But I think
Underneath
I'm gonna
the
get
first
this.
level and bring it up.
Yeah.
Something that'd be kind of cool. That's a good idea. I might look at that myself.
Well, I will mount it here for the time being, though, where I am now. Mind you, there's a power pack underneath this, but I will mount it here for the time being because I'm not going to be able to do much until Easter. I probably won't have time to do much until I get back from the US next year.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going there at May because I want to try to get there for May. I'm not going to have any time until June, winter.
Yeah.
Actually, that work out good. I can do my timber work at winter, and by the time the hot weather comes up, we start laying the track. Because all my track work's been done during the summertime, and I don't get those bows and kinks in the rail.
Are you looking to just come visit in May, or are you?
Well, yeah, it's only going to be a quick visit in May. Plus, now with everyone going up to Strasbourg, and of course that's not going to be far up the road. I might just go
Are you
over.
planning on that in May? Strasbourg?
Pardon?
Is Strasbourg's planned for May?
Yeah. Oh, well, they're talking about 22nd of May.
I have, Sparky was the one who was originally trying to organize that, and I don't get to watch his stuff much anymore, man. His live stream, I get out of work later on Wednesdays. By the time I get home, it's just I miss it all the time, and
I end up having to usually watch it on rerun because how late it is.
Yeah, he hasn't been too bad.
yeah,
But
I've been lazy about watching YouTube lately. I catch a few people here and there, but
Well, I've had to cut back. I mean, I watch the guys on, say, on Mondays and like the Sidetrack Sunday and whatnot, but
problem is I get to watch on the YouTube when I'm not doing any work.
Doing all my work.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I get to watching it and I don't do any work. Or I'm watching, like I have a live stream or something on and I'm not even really paying attention to it because I'm doing something else.
Yeah.
So I'm not really participating.
I had back on track yesterday but I was working on the layout. I typed in it, I think, once, and then by the time I turned round, they were going off, so I just typed in "good stream."
Yeah.
It's the way it's always been. It is what it is.
Yeah. But see, what I've been trying to do is I've been trying to, like with the section I've been working on now, I either have to paint it or glue it or something. So I'll do it before they do the live stream. Then I'm going to sit back and watch the show, and either the glue sets or the paint dries in that period of time, and I'm going to do the next step. I think Mondays are the worst. You got two shows, one after another.
Mm-hmm.
2-3 shows, but I've ended up going down to only one or two, and that's it for Monday. And that's my Tuesday.
I kind of go through phases. Sometimes I'll post a lot of stuff on YouTube, and then I'll kind of take a break from it. It just takes a lot to edit and everything.
Yeah, that's how I do it too.
And just making the video is not always the worst part. It's trying to edit the damn thing. Because like I was making something I'm going to try to post maybe today. Just me running trains on this yard because I was testing it anyways to make sure all my wiring was good, and it is. But I did a video just moving some of these cars around, and it's like a 15-20 minute video.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna watch a 15-20 minute video of somebody just moving cars, switching cars around. It's boring. I ain't watching that. I'll tell you that right now.
Well,
not that long. So I'm trying to get it down to under 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, I've noticed the average person will be watching about 4 minutes, 5 minutes of a channel,
Yeah.
if that, and that's pushing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And depending what you're doing.
Videos,
Now, if you're doing a how-to or something like that, and you're showing something, and it's a little
That's
bit
different.
longer, or maybe you break it into 2 parts, get people to come back to the channel. Plus, then it cuts the video down, so you don't
Yeah.
lose interest. But
Yeah.
like I said, this is just me basically switching these cars on these tracks just to make sure that I got power and everything. And you know, my turnouts are the tortoises are in, but only one of them is powered right now. So you know, I'm trying to carefully manually move those tortoises. You know, what you got to be careful with that. You don't want to break any of that stuff in there.
Yeah.
But so, anyways, yeah, that's. I'm not going to watch a video that's 20 minutes or whatever long, especially for something like that. A how-to, yeah, maybe I'll watch that.
Well, I've got another
Yeah,
I've got another 2 parts coming up for. Yeah, well, see, I've got another 2 parts coming out now, but I've cheated. I've actually recorded 2 parts, but I'm going to do them with automatic blocks where it can actually release itself automatically.
Yeah.
To give it a week apart from one another. So I'm going to do some more short ones after this is done. Because
Yeah.
I'm doing a back to basics series.
Yeah, that'll be a good series. I like the idea of that.
Yeah, well, that's
I
3
like
parts to it at the moment.
series of that, back to basics.
So I had wired into one BD20, and it works. It was pretty cool. I seen the light come on the AIU1. Never could get that right. AIU1.
Yeah, it's a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Because you got the AR one, which is a reversing loop, and then you got this thing. So it's like you got to say it right so you don't confuse people. So that works. Now you told me I could take the ground lines and like daisy chain them, or how would you, like on these BD20s? Was that you that told me that?
Yeah, that's what I've done. I've daisy chained mine.
So what I do, run from one of them over to the next one?
Yeah.
And just kind of do that.
Yeah, but what I've also done is, you know, where you got the ground on the AIU1,
Yeah.
you got the ground at the 1 to 7 and the 8 to 14.
Right.
What I've done is I've actually connected those 2 up with a wire.
You do what?
One ground wire.
So you connect them all to one ground wire?
So, argument's sake, just use this one as an example, right? I'll use this as an example. So that's your ground there, and that's your ground. All I've done was run a wire from this one here up to here, and then that wire goes up the BD20s.
Oh, so you just connected both of them as one?
Yeah. So I just hooked those 2 onto the one wire.
And almost used the wire almost like a bus when it runs over through.
Yeah.
All right.
And I
it's going to save me a lot of wire doing that instead of running one long, because like this one's way over in the corner there, and this where I put it is actually halfway point on the layout, but it's quite a distance, you know. So I don't want to run. So I save a little bit of wire.
So the way I've got mine set up is okay, I've got at the moment this one's got BD20. All this here's got BD20s in it now. Actually no, this one track hasn't, but they all come up into here in the control panel. So I've got one of those terminal strips up behind connected into that. Then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. And then I've got a terminal block where I've only got the one wire going from there into the main block for this one here. It's sort of like you got intermediate blocks, but they all join up into the one ground. But I'll just give you one tip.
Mm-hmm.
make sure you label the ground wire for your BD20s for your AIU. Because I try to use it on the bus or into the same ground that goes in the mini panel, and I was getting feedback. I didn't like it.
See,
So I actually run the
I don't even
ground.
have a mini panel yet.
Yeah.
I have just the AIU one.
Yeah, well, the AIU, I use the BD20's ground straight into AIU. I don't put it in the bus, I put it straight into that. I did put it in the bus.
But I could daisy chain those. That's all I'm saying is the ground I could daisy chain.
Yeah, you can
Go right from one
daisy
to the
chain the
next.
ground. Yeah, you can daisy chain. And I think I'm working on, for the
Yes,
actual
yeah,
panel lights, I think I'll daisy chain that into it as well.
I got 7 or 8 of them.
Yeah.
So I can only daisy chain the amount. Well, I could do 12 of them, I guess. If I do the wire like you did, combine those two grounds together. I could do. Otherwise, I'd have to stay with only the amount on that one side. You got 7 and then 7.
Yeah. Yeah, but the bus line, Rick, the bus line is one thing. Like you can hook your accessories and whatnot to the bus line. Yeah, that's not a problem. Like your light-its and your switch 8s and what's the other one? Switch it. You can hook them up on the bus line, no problem. But with the BD20, I try to hook the ground, which I call the ground or the negative. Your ground onto my ground on the bus, and it almost sounds like it's either shorting out or there's a signal failure in the system. But it's almost like there's a slight short in it. But when I disconnected it and put it straight into the AIU, I didn't have a problem. Yeah, I had suitcase connectors too, but I've shied away from them. I only use it if I really have to, because what I've actually found with the suitcase connectors is, it's happened to me on a couple of wires now, that when you crimp the suitcase connector down, it's cutting one of the wires, which is not supposed to. So the wire just falls out. So I've got away from the suitcase. I just use those terminal strips.
Yeah. I have a few suitcase connectors on this one where I didn't have anything else around it. I didn't feel like wasting a terminal strip, but I've been mostly trying to, put my terminal strips in areas where I know I'm going to have a lot of feeders, like in yards and stuff.
But you can use it. I'll use these. These are about $2 each.
Yeah, I got to
I make these into my terminals into this junction. Screw them all into this. Especially while I'm thinking about expanding off with the BD20s, but since we can't get it, I just temporarily put it up in here.
They work. I use them for all sorts. I use them for my lights. If I want to do one big wire for lights, I'll have lights and they'll all run off that. Just because you can daisy chain them.
Yeah, well, actually, this one's $1.50 Australian. They'll work at about $1.10, $1.05 American at the moment.
Yeah, I get them from it'll be your dollar store or whatever you call your Dollar Tree. It's called Dollar Tree in it for use in the States.
Yeah, we have Dollar Trees.
Yeah, Dollar Tree. And we call it Pound. Ours is called Poundland. I get a lot of me stuff like that from. I do a lot of. I've learned from Jimmy DIY. He does a Dollar Tree stuff, and I go and do it sometimes. I'll go me dollar stuff. Well, it's me Poundland. Get it right, Lee.
Yeah.
And I'll go there, and I'll get all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, we've got
It's amazing the things you could use for what we do.
Yeah. It is amazing all the stuff that you can get. I get me acrylic paint from there, and they've got the acrylic pens as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Well,
get Sharpie
that's like
markers.
we got the reject shop here, and we got another store here, but doesn't sell food in it. We call it Ronnie's. It's got arts and crafty stuff and plates and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
I'm just trying to think of the equivalent in the US. Well, I can't think of the equivalent in the US at the moment. But
Rick,
yeah, I'll go and buy
you
all
use
the
stranded
that's
wire or
50
solid wire, Rick?
Yeah, I use all my wires. It's multi-strand.
Yeah, my feeders are solid, but I use 22 gauge solid
Yeah.
feeders. It's easier for me to solder them to the track and stuff.
I'll
Well,
tell you what I seem to use. I'll use a lot alarm wire, the thin alarm wire.
Hey, Troy.
Hey, Troy, how
Hi,
you
Troy.
doing? I actually use the multi-strand even as my feeder, but I use a thinner wire. You're talking gauges. You got me out confused. Where's my thick wire? My place looks like a cyclone too, so just bear with me for a minute.
That's the wire I use unlighted. Dead thin wire. It's alarm wire.
Yeah, is it stranded or is it single?
Yeah, it's stranded inside it. It's stranded.
Yeah.
But it's ideal for 12-volt lighting. I've just lighted up all, as you can get it right.
Yeah.
All my lights in that building, in the flat building.
Yeah, I like that.
I've got to wire it up, put it on the layout. It's getting chance to do it though. I keep moving on to different jobs. As you do. I don't finish one job.
Troy and Joe Rader both said one uses doorbell wire 22 gauge, and the other uses solid thermostat wire, which I'm assuming the thermostat wire is probably around a 22 gauge or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use basically the same. I use it for my bus. The wire that I use is almost equivalent to house wire. Electrical wire.
Speaker wire works wonders as well. What you use for stereo speakers?
No. I've seen people going with just a single strand one. The problem is with the single strand one is I was told by someone that done electronics, if you use a single solid strand, they're prone to break a lot easier and snap.
Yeah, I've had problems.
Especially when corrosion gets torn. If you get a multi-strand, they run up a little bit different. They last a bit longer, right? So this is the thin wire that I use as my feeder.
Yeah, that's the type of size wire I use on my feeders.
I just use this for my feeder. It's not very thick, right? But it does the job.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cheaper. It's about
there's my wire rag.
It's about 2 mil. I don't remember what gauge it is. I do have it on a label somewhere.
Mine's 22 gauge.
Yeah. And we made feeders about double the size of it.
Yeah.
Almost as thick as.
I use the solid for. I use the solid for the feeders, just because I could bend it easier and stick it to the.
Yeah.
I mean, I know. I still I don't know if it's coming through. I just want to focus really well. But anyways, I still tin it, but it holds its shape better for where I'm trying to solder next to the rail or under the rail. I use red and black just because that's what my bus line is, red and black. So I just get my feeders red and black to keep.
That's the same thickness as what I've got here that you got in your hand.
Yeah. Now my bus is 16 gauge, and then I ran a second bus of blue and white wire just because I wanted to keep things separate.
Yeah.
Otherwise, and that bus is I think 18 because it was going to be for accessories and lights and stuff. I figured that should be plenty to run 12-volt power through, for my switch machines and that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to run that on a separate bus.
I managed to get some wire quite cheap out of one of the hobby shops near
I've been
Gary's
using the
place,
Cat
Bridget's
5
place.
for the BD20s, but that's a good idea.
That's the wire I use. Lighted. That's alarm wire. It's got all the single strands in it. It's dead
Oh, yeah.
flat.
I used like
Yeah.
on the old layout, it was I can't remember what the gauge was. It was it might have been 18 gauge, maybe 18 or 20. I still had some left. It was wire for sprinklers, outdoor sprinkler system. It came
Well,
with
I like this wire, this alarm
7
wire,
colors.
because it's black, red, green, and yellow. So what I'll do with that, I'll run that right under my layout, and I'll be able to wire up both sides of my track.
Okay,
on the
Rick,
bus
take it
wire.
easy.
Use
Yeah,
yellow
drive
for
safely, mate.
catalog.
Sorry, Lee. Have a break too on your way home, mate. Don't do it all in one hit. Just take a bit of a break on the way home. Drive safely, please. We want to see you here on Monday, eh?
Yeah, we do. We want to see you around the streams, Rick.
Yeah, drive safely, buddy.
Drive safely.
There's too many idiots on the road as it is.
Yeah. No, I can run
like
that
the old
right around my layout.
terminal.
What's that,
section.
Randall?
I was just saying, mine's like the old school train sets. I still got the terminal section with the wires that hook up to the track.
They came in
It still
handy.
works.
It worked for me on the outdoor layout. When I took my layout outside, it worked. There's nothing wrong with them.
I like the way this wire works on my layout. This layout worked. This is my wire I'm gonna run for my lighting. That's the wire I'm running for my lighting, because I'll be able to use the red for the live, the black for the neutral, and then them two I won't use unless I may put them as another 12 volt feed or 6 volt. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
But it can just run under the layout, and I can have it come out, go into the power supplies where they go to.
Yeah, see, I got some ribbon cables somewhere. And a lot of those, those grey computer wires.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. But I got the mighty coloured ones. I actually got the rejects.
Yeah. I did used to use
And you take it easy, Rick. We had some very nasty wrecks here. In the last 48 hours, there was a bad one up the top of my mountain here where there was a quadruple fatality in 2 cars. They're all traveling together and decide they're going to cut out in front of the truck so they don't miss the turn off, and they got collected by not 1 truck but 3 trucks.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah, right near a bridge. No, it was nasty. So just take it easy. That's why I say you can drive for about 2-3 hours, go and have a cup of coffee, stretch your legs, and go and shake hands with your unemployed, and go back and do another 2-3 hours stint. Yeah. You don't have to do it in one hit. Just, See, what I'm doing with my wiring is this. For my lights, I just use a different strand. And this is from Brava. I got them quite cheap, actually. And it's yellow and brown. Now, I do have a fair few lights here that are from Brava, and they use these 2 colours.
Yeah.
Right, so
I'm trying to keep things color coded just to keep my mind right,
Yeah, well, and it'd be easy to work out, right, okay, look, I'll go underneath the layout and I'll see this, the brown and yellow, like this. Oh, they're my lights. It's not my bus. Oh, these guys. Okay. And then, like with my turnouts, I'm using that. You've seen on one of my how-to videos, I've got one of those cables that got they don't come 8 strands, got 9 strands in it. and it's this thick, 90 strands in it. Now, I know the tortoise only got 8 connections. This is just a sheathing of it. But again, a big roll. I got it as a reject off the back of the truck one time. I was going to throw it away, and I said, I want to use it on my layout.
Wire's wire. You don't have to wire away.
It comes in handy for me if we're not going to use it hooking up the layout and make trees out of it. But it had 9 wires. But I'll tell you what, the 9th wire came in handy for when I did the BD20s. Right? I got a couple of BD20s that are actually hooked up through this cable.
Well, yeah, I bought, my home store had, and Jason, the train freak, turned me on to that. He said to go ahead and use that Cat 5 wire because it has 4 different colors of 2 strands. One is like, brown and brown white, striped, and green white, So let me just tell you how much fun that was, stripping that off and then separating all those wires. I guess I could have left it all inside of there. Just, that probably would have been the easier way to go, but I did not. And, but it gives you a lot of wire, and I think I paid less than $25 for it for 100 foot.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure I'll need more than that, but,
You're going to pay your internet. Look at this. It says your net went off. We know the truth, don't we, Dave Ren? He didn't pay his bill on time. They cut it off on him mid-street.
What happened?
Louis, his internet went out.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I just saw that.
Okay, Joe, take care. I better get going. I'll be there quarter quit soon too.
All right, Joe. Yeah, I'm gonna be going too pretty soon.
Yeah.
When I get
You guys got to go and do. You got to go. It's your turn to go do real world stuff, or I've got to go and try to get some sleep.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I've been struggling to sleep the last week. These few nights I've been struggling to sleep.
Oh, sorry to hear that. I slept real good Friday night. I must have been tired. I slept pretty good. And then last night was just so. I slept almost 8 hours on Friday. Now that's me sleeping in. I usually get 5 hours, 5 or 6 tops usually.
Well, it was a day I went to work. I did a Springfield trip, came back, and cooked dinner and everything, and they called and said, we need you to come work a 12-hour yard assist. I had to go back and work 12 hours in the yard. So that was a long day and night.
I said that would be a long day. Troy got 500 foot of Cat 5 from work when they were upgrading their system. Oh, shit. Can't beat that deal.
No, but you know what I do? I cheat as well. I go around a lot of these big building sites, construction sites, especially when I was working. And they always have offcuts that they throw in the dump. You guys call them dumpsters.
Yeah.
You go to the tip, it's like, I can use this. I'll use that. That's enough of what I need. Just trying to figure out there's something on this layout that I've got. All right. No, my matting that I've got outside in the lounge room. They're square mats. Right? Office style ones. And of course, when you got a pet, like even like with my rabbit, sometimes I'll do an accident on the carpet. And it's like, instead of worrying about replacing the whole lot, you just take the square out and wash it down. Well, look, they did a car show here, a huge warehouse sort of thing. Used once and I took it down the tip. It's like, I'll take them, thank you.
Yeah.
And you're paying $35 a square. I'll take them, thank you. Yeah, so it worked out real good.
Yeah.
No, I just haven't been sleeping. I'm tired. I go to bed. I have about 2-3 hours worth of sleep, and then I get nightmares. I mean, I know it's a while since my accident and wreck and everything else, whatnot, but I just get hit with these nightmares real bad, and I just can't get back to sleep again. Just the stress is so much. Yeah, I'm on medication and everything else, but Takes a little bit of the edge off it, but not enough.
Well, that'd be something, I wonder if people that are retired end up like that at first, anyways, because you're so used to having a schedule and being up and certain times of day and doing things and being busy that when you're in your situation, you're home, so you could do what you want when you want. So you're sleeping probably different times and napping and doing whatever. Because I may not sleep long at night, but if I'm like on a weekend or my off day when I'm home, if I'm not doing something, I'll nap. If I sit down and watch TV or something, I'm out.
But I've been keeping the same routine that I had been when I was doing it at work anyway. My sleep pattern, I've been keeping the same. So my body clock doesn't have to readjust.
Yeah. Well, that's
Because I see now it's getting here to midnight. And it's a Sunday night. Usually I'm working the Sunday nights. Sundays used to be my Mondays, so to speak. And we'll be knocking off about now. So I'll be home by 1 o'clock in the morning, and I won't go to bed till 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
But I'm still keeping up to that routine. So my body clock, because my body's clock's so used to it, if I stop with that routine, it's going to take a good 3-4 months of a body, what they call a circadian rhythm, to get back into it again.
Yeah. When I started building the old layout, I was just coming off of working nights for about 3 years, 4 years. And so, I was up, some nights I'd be up damn near all night long. I hand painted all my track just to have something to do in the middle of the night, quiet, used to being up, Got a lot of work done in the middle of the night. My wife didn't care for it too much, but I just couldn't sleep right, it wasn't, I couldn't help it, what was I supposed to do? So I'd lay there for a while, try to go to sleep, and I couldn't, so I just get back up and, get up, because I just couldn't sleep.
Hey, Troy, you want to be careful. Rick doesn't see you doing that, because he'll get the chopping block on you, chopping down his little young trees there.
Yeah.
But you see, 30 years of night shift, working through the night, driving through the night.
Yeah.
Well, 30. Yeah, you say close to 30 years, right? I don't. When it gets close to midday here, I usually go and have about 4 or 5 hours kip in the afternoon, and then go drive again all night. My body clock's so used to it.
Yeah.
And I struggle to do day shift a lot, but there is an upside to it, because when I go home to the US and South Carolina, because my body clock has been functioning in the same, my body clock's been functioning at your time zone there. If you understand what I mean, like when it's night time here, it's daytime there. So basically, I'm doing the daytime work over there anyway, your daytime hours.
Mm-hmm.
So my body doesn't have to adjust to the time zone. It's already adjusted to that time. And when I'm over there, I sleep like a baby, better than a baby.
Well, it's like where I work too. They may call you at 9 o'clock in the morning, or they may call you like at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you may be out a couple hours, you may be out 15 hours. So that's what I try to tell people when they ask about this job. It's not what you would say a normal job.
Well,
because
everything's
such a moving target.
Yeah, what you're doing is basically what I was doing as a first responder, and that was volunteering. I wasn't even paid for it. I was doing work like what the Coast Guard does. You get a phone call, you could be out doing a search and rescue for 1 or 2 hours, or you could be out a whole week.
Yeah.
When MH370 went down over in the Indian Ocean, we were out for 3 months.
Wow. I remember that too. I remember when that went down.
Yeah, that was a big stuff up. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about when I see you, Dave. You kick yourself.
Yeah.
Ever since then, to be actually honest, ever since that happened, I have no respect really for people that got all these high degrees and everything else because they won't listen to people with experience.
No, they know more.
But
went to school.
they got that piece of
They got the
paper and
degree.
say, I've got this piece of paper, I've been to university, I know more than you. Because you don't have one, that means I know more than you. I find that very, very offensive.
When my uncle was working when he was alive, he was a tool and die guy. You know, he did it for 30 plus years. The company he wanted to switch into a different company. They would not hire him because he went into the army. I think he got his GED through the army, but he could never find the paperwork on it. He didn't have a high school diploma. They wouldn't hire him because he didn't have the paperwork. 30 some years of experience got him nothing as far as getting that job because he didn't have paperwork. Like a diploma. I mean, he had, the job.
Yeah, he had the skill set, he got the experience and everything else. He knows how to do the job.
He could show that he worked for this company for this many years and that one for that many. He used to work for Tow Motor. And they moved out, and then he was trying to find other work in the same field. But whatever, it was just, it was ridiculous that he couldn't get a job with this other company because he didn't have the high school diploma to show or the GED to show, even though he was coming with 30 plus years experience.
Yeah, say, Troy.
But they'd rather hire Joe Blow out of school.
The university idiots.
Yeah, like Troy said. But they'd rather hire the apprentice right out of school, out of the trade school, which is fine. They got to get a job too, but
they got to learn from somewhere.
But you're going to pass on a guy that has all this knowledge and experience.
You better give it to someone that's experienced enough that's been working in that trade and in that field for that X period of time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not big noting ourselves, but we had a success rate out of our crew here. We had a 99% success rate in finding beacons and bodies and in searches. Like we were doing aerial searches, we were able to find it.
Yeah.
We were that good that even our main rescue centre here ended up calling us one time to find a military beacon that came out of a Hercules. Now, if anyone, mostly, I don't know if you know how the military beacons work, the stress beacons work, they only go off for you'd be lucky for about 2 or 3 minutes. Then they shut off for about an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. They're the hardest beacons to find. They only go off for that short period of time, so the enemy don't pick them up.
Oh, yeah. No, that makes sense, though.
Right? The military couldn't find it. The university graduates couldn't find it. Oh, here we go. Rick's here. We were talking about trees. Here we go. Yeah, might have been, they did be nice to him. Yeah, well, shall we? Yeah, if he wants. But they called us up and they go, well, we know you guys can do it. If you guys can't do it, no one can. They were looking for this beacon for 2 weeks and the battery was going flat, so it was crucial to find it. So they gave us a call, I think it was 11 o'clock at night. We flew out first light in the morning. As soon as we got airborne, we picked up the signal within the hour. We actually found it within 3 hours.
Nice.
Of the phone call, of us being up in the air. Now, when 370 went down, they called us for our help. It's like, well, you kind of get thought is short. We're not going to find it. We had an idea where to go looking for it, but
yeah,
we were told, oh, you don't know nothing.
Of course not.
No. Yeah. So. No, I found that more offensive when someone says because you haven't got a piece of paper, you're not smart enough. That's more offensive. That's offensive. Okay, I'm no expert. I'm always learning something new, but yes, someone coming up, especially these new engineers, and you're thinking, what on earth are they thinking of?
Well, they have to. they have to show some kind of use for that degree, I guess, you know.
The way half of them, they wasted the time at school anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, half the time all they learned to do is how to make a specific cup, ask for a specific type of cup of coffee or a specific type of sandwich and whatnot. Of course, I just had a flat white with a couple of sugars. That's the end of it, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, where is our signal man tonight? I've got to send him an email with these signals that I found out. I've noticed there's a problem with the lighting. So I'm going to see if the guy that I get my NCE stuff up in Sydney knows how to do it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to throw the problem to Jason. Because the signals that I've got, they're LED ones, but they're what they call them, bipolar type, you know, like your LEDs that you got there for your red and green. Yeah, bipolar, whatever they call them on these signals. So where I need to have diodes on, so I'm going to throw that problem over to Jason to see if he knows how it needs to be hooked up to the light circuits.
Were you asking?
Yeah, I'm going to ask him. Yeah, because it's a lot different to.
Rick
I
might
know.
know. Rick might know.
I think he's still rubbing his eyes trying to wake up. Or he's arguing with the kids and the missus.
Hey, on these bi-colored LEDs, can I run the? Can I daisy chain the ground on those?
Which ones?
It shows the 3-pin LEDs.
The 3-pin ones, yeah, you should be able to, yeah. Yeah, you will be.
I ordered some 2-pins as well. Cause
Yeah, the 3 pins, yes, you can daisy change. Yeah, you can. See, Rick just said, yes, you can. So, Rick, it's 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm using that as an excuse, okay? And I can't.
Yeah,
you can.
I gotta try to figure out this board, get these LEDs and these toggles in there so I could get these tortoises wired up and get them up and going. I got them in place. I just gotta wire them up, and I want to wire them into the board, the toggles. You know, I showed the board the other day I was making.
Yeah, because then you got, as you got your tortoise, when you got your wires coming out, right, for your, you see the diagram, your power wire is in the middle one, and then either side is going to be either your green or your red. Okay, so once it flicks over, when it flicks to one side, you got the power going to
You're talking about when you wire it up on the tortoise?
Yeah.
So you're going to use what?
You got the three, as you got the three, as you got 2, 3, and 4, right? Number 3 will be a power wire, right? And then you put your 2 to either your red or green, or 4 to red or green. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, because that one there.
I thought 4 was the ground.
No. No, not the. Well, whichever one it is. It might be 4. That's the ground. Just have a look at the diagram. I haven't got my diagram here in Rich.
You have it? I'm trying to look and see if I have it. Rick will probably know. I got so much shit around here.
Might be 4.
You're probably right. I'm just trying to learn all this nonsense.
Yeah, and you got to put a resistor on them too.
What's that?
You got to put a resistor on the common. Yeah. So if you put a resistor that goes up into it, that will actually cover it.
Put a resistor on the common. Common, is that considered the ground when you say common? I guess it's not really a ground. I call it the ground.
Well,
Common
see,
utility.
we've always known as a common as being our positive here. That's the way I was taught. Then I go to American system and it's negative. So, sorry, I'm just. Right, here we go. I think I found it. Yep, I found it. I need to get it remade. Okay, here's my information. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, number 4. Yeah, number 4 is your. That's right, no mistake. Yeah, number 4 is your power wire. That's going to be live. Then 1 and 2, you can put either 2 on your red or 3 on your red or green. So 2 and 3 is whichever one you're going to put on.
I'm trying to read it.
Yeah, well, that's it too. But usually a negative will be the longest one, which is the longest leg of the LED, and then you've got your common going to the sides.
Definitely the middle pin of the 3-pin lead or LED.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, in the middle one, yeah. Yeah, the middle one's your negative.
So I know I'm putting a resistor in. Damn it.
I normally put the resistors before, which is a common and positive. I usually put the resistor before it, and that does the job.
So I'm putting a resistor on
See the top and bottom?
the top and the bottom.
Yeah, that's all you need to do. Just put a resistor up the
And
top
then
and a resistor
so
on the
then the
bottom.
middle would be the common. No? That middle one? Is that your ground or the common, or what are you calling the common?
I know that is a negative. What do they call it there?
Negative, I don't know. So the top and the bottom, one is red, one is green.
Yeah.
So I'm putting resistors on those.
So your red and green are on the outer ones. I think, let me have a look. I've got my tester here.
Because I ordered some 2-pins because for some reason in my mind those seem like they'd be easier to deal with, but I don't know if that's true. Be less wiring, but maybe not.
Yeah.
And these are just 3mm lenses.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get this board up and going because I think it's going to be really, really neat.
Yeah, it could be positive and negative. Yeah, that's right.
Common is the pin they share. It could be positive or negative. One resist. So put a resistor on the middle one too.
Oh, you don't have to. You don't have to.
Because I have a resistor on all 3 then. It won't hurt to put a resistor.
I never did that. Well, you can, but I usually put a resistor. Well,
I'm going by what Rick is saying down there and reading the comments.
Yeah, he's right. He's right. You can do that.
Well, if I put it, are you saying if I put it on the middle, if I want a daisy chain? Wait, no.
Yeah.
I'm just trying the middle pin. What do you mean no? No to what? How many is the pin they share? It could be positive or negative. Just one resistor on the middle pin. And then I don't need them on the legs? On these 3.
Yeah, we see the middle one there. You see the middle one there, you put the resistor on that one. In the middle pin. Just put on that.
I don't need to put it on the other 2 then?
No.
One resistor on the middle. All right.
Well,
is it different for the 2-pin LEDs?
No, with a 2-pin, you'll have to have a resistor on either side.
For the 2-pin, I put one on each. The 3-pin just on the middle.
All right, where are they?
I'm going to learn this shit one way or the other, Artie. I'm going to tell you, between you, Rick, Jason, and all the rest of you guys.
Well, my memory is not.
I say for some reason I can't. Like I understand it when we talk about it, but then when I go to do it, it's like I forget. 2-pin LED just gets one resistor on either leg.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter which leg.
Yeah.
Correct, Rick? You can put it on the long one or the short one.
Yeah.
For the
I was just getting ready to say I got that DCC install DVD, and it shows those 2-pin LEDs. You can put the resistor on either the common or the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. As long as one of them has it, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
So that's the red, right? See how I've got it here.
That's your tester there.
Yeah, that's my tester. See, I've got it. That's
So
the middle.
that has a resistor built into the tester, I'm assuming.
It's got them inside, yeah. Okay, so the long one there. I've got that going on the left. Actually, I'm gonna have to get this out to you. That's a high resistor. See how dull it is?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then the low value will be brighter.
Oh, so that has different.
Yeah. The higher the resistor, the duller it will be, and you don't need a very high resistor. Right? And now
I don't know what this came with. This what these edge logic.
And those are long ones. Now I think these ones here, well Rick reckons it doesn't matter. Let's have a look. I think it might. Let's see.
This is common cathode.
You reckon it doesn't matter, but I think it does. Yeah, it does matter. You see, it doesn't work when you do it the other way around. Right? So you have to have it.
So this one came with 470 ohm resistors.
Yeah, see, yeah. You see, that there's only one way they will work, right? You'll find it. Here's an example for you, Dave.
Yeah.
Now that's your long one there, right? And that's your short one. Now that should be a negative. Now, if I put it in this way, right? The long one's in this on this side here, it will work. Right? Now if I turn the polarity around on this one, this is the 3-prong one, it won't work.
Okay.
Okay. So if it doesn't work when you're hooked up, you've got the polarities around the wrong way. That's why when you first start off with a couple of them, it'd be either they have one of those terminal blocks. You see, same with this. The middle one is still on the long side.
Okay, cool, Rick. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was talking about the
Now
tape.
can only play one way. That's right. Yeah.
Okay, I'm learning, man. I'm learning. I've never been like an electric guy or a IT guy, anything like that. So all this, and that's where I feel like I keep saying that I'm losing my momentum, but I'm not really. I'm losing my momentum as far as running track, but I'm trying to. Yeah, I think I did watch it. I'm gonna watch it again because you did something on like mini panels and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because
I revert to that. I reverted that. I mean to what Rick's got there, and that's how the LEDs. Well, I haven't put the LEDs, but that's how I got this panel up here working with these switches here.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I will watch that back, Rick, for sure. But being we're here on here and talking, sometimes maybe other people are just trying to learn things too.
The problem with me is I know what to do.
The more I hear it, the more I learn it, and the more it sits in. So
yeah,
it doesn't feel like I'm asking the same questions over and over, but sometimes that's what it takes for me to get it to click. And doing it too helps.
Dave,
Well,
I used to do this as a hobby. I know I know the memory's up in here somewhere. It's all fragmented. I've got to defrag this thing up here.
Right.
And it'll come from, I know I can do it, but the information's not coming into here to here and then into your hands. I know the information's in there. And that's basic, even Rick will agree, but it's basic electronics.
Yeah.
Basic electronics, like with me doing the call sign and everything else.
Yeah. Oh, shit. 'Cause I'm just trying to get.
well, that video I saw where they do that, it's the TSG Multimedia DCC installs Volume 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Where they were showing that. But it was basically them putting those LEDs in locomotives.
Yeah.
What it was.
Yeah.
It should still be the same way.
Yeah, it's the same way, it's the same way, but just trying to, until you do a few, you know which way is which, but, and sometimes, like I'm reading through some of these manuals, the way things have been done is about face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't understand the manual. I read the manual and I get confused.
Like when I look at the system, I look at the manual and diagram, because I learned about it at school as a trade, as an electrician. When I look at it, I go, well, that's supposed to be there, and there. But when I look at the manuals and following all the wiring and everything else, it's all back to front.
Yeah.
And that was same as with one of the trucks that I bought. It had electrical problems in it. Right? And I couldn't work out what it is. And I've even got the wiring diagram to have a look. What the person done that had it before me did all the wiring about face. And of course I was having problems with the system. No wonder nothing wanted to work. And I found that with a lot of electronics, a lot of them over in the US have got things back to front. To the way I was actually run from a. Yeah, well, one of these is coming in the mail this week for Dave, so he can work out and see it.
Yeah, I need to get me one of those. Those look pretty handy.
They're from. I got this from JK Electronics over here, and they're about. They're not very expensive. They're from JK Electronics here in Australia, and all you need in it is all it takes is a 3-volt battery or a 9-volt battery inside.
Okay.
And it's all got the resistors and everything else. And I tell you what, when we're doing things like this, or even just to check your LEDs if they work, this is a brilliant little tool.
Yeah.
And it's worth
Rick said to get. I'm an idiot, man. I gotta get like a multimeter type thing because I've never had one, and with this amount of railroading, I swear, I don't know.
But down boys, some gloves down Harbour Freight, and you'll get a free multimeter.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I got a track clean boxcar. I'm gonna put new trucks and wire pickups on it because the stock trucks and the it's kind of where if you watched some of the videos on my channel, you've probably seen this boxcar on it. It's what they call a MNP boxcar. They basically use a Walters 60-foot high cube boxcar as the core, and they drop 2 motors down inside of it, and each motor spins a felt pad disc, and it cleans the tracks. It works great. And but the pickup, the way the pickups are, it's kind of odd because they use a brass little piece of, I don't know if you could call it brass or copper or something, and the wheels basically just drag on it. That's how it picks up its power.
Mm-hmm.
Phosphorus bronze, I call it. It's like a
So-
wire, phosphorus, I use a phosphorus bronze wire for my pickups and whatnot on my carriages, on my cars.
Well, what I was getting ready to say was it's actually wearing the axles out on this box car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get rid of that brass clip or that brass little piece of brass with the wires soldered on it. I have a set of Athearn Genesis trucks, and I'm going to try to stick under it that has the wire pickups on it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to figure out a way to solder that wire to the wire that's on the box car and try to.
So this is what I use, Randall, on my wheels, and I actually find these wear out the bronze wire out before it rub. See how thin it is? I use this as my pickups on my cars.
Yeah.
For my power, and that will wear out before the instead of the wheel. And I've also got that on a couple of engine kits that I've got too. But you want to remind me that Dave, just go there. As I said, last time I was over in the US, I bought myself a couple of pairs of gloves at Harbour Freight, right? And a multimeter of, I don't know whether I got it for free or paid $2.50 for it.
Yeah, they have those little specials like that.
Yeah.
I got one of those not too far from me at Harbor Freight. Like I bought my chop saw from them over the summer. When my chop saw died on me in the middle of building all this bench work, I'm like, oh boy, that's not gonna work. So I think I picked up a decent saw. It works. I don't know, $150, something like that, $200, because they don't sell the blade with it. You got to buy the blade separate. I found that out the hard way. When I opened the box, there was no blade. I had to run back up there and buy a blade. I was like, oops, because I missed that in the instructions. Rick says you can also use a 3-volt button battery for testing. That's a good idea too. I have a 9-volt over there, but of course I have to put the resistor on to make sure that I don't blow the LED.
Well, that's where this is where this one comes in handy.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna take a look
That's
for
where
that.
because it tells you all the values up on the side there. You see.
Yeah,
So.
I'll have to get me one of those.
Well, it's in a parcel here for you.
No,
I just got to get to the post office. I already got you one, remember?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I've got it here. Here.
Yeah.
You just got to put your own battery in it.
Yeah, I have to get with you outside of here, and we'll talk about all that stuff.
Yeah, I'll have it in the mail Tuesday. Because I'll go up. I'm going to Sydney on Tuesday, so I'll go up there and put it at the airport there, so you get it quicker. Yeah, because they're doing something real funny with the mail from here to Sydney. Yeah, they try and use all sorts of excuses with me, and I'm like, you want to try something new because I've heard all those excuses. I've been in transport 37, 38 years.
What is the voltage? Just because we're talking, like I mentioned a 9-volt, and Rick was saying, yeah, you definitely have to use resistors on those. What's a AAA and AA's? What is a? I never really paid attention to them. It was just me.
I think the double A's are 1.5 volt.
Is it?
Yeah, double A's 1.5,
and I'm not sure what the triple A's are.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find. What do I have here? That's got a triple A. Oh no, that's got a. Oh, well.
That's why you always need to have more than 1.5 volts.
I think that might be about the same.
Would that even light an LED?
I think that one's actually a 3-volt. I'm not too sure. I'm just trying to see what I've got here. That's got.
So would that even light an LED? That'd be really dim.
No, that's. What I have here? That's got.
I don't know. I don't have one laying around here. I just never paid attention to it. We're just talking about voltages. It's all are 1.5. Okay.
Yeah, well, your double A's is 1.5, so 2 of them that gives you a 3, And I think the the triple A is about the same.
That's all a D battery is 1.5 volts.
Oh, they want.
Double A, I think, is 1.5 volt. I'm not sure what the D or the triple A's are as far as voltage.
Interesting.
Yeah,
But I
that's
do know,
right.
I do know that
Yeah.
double A is 1.5 volt.
Yeah, the D's, LACs and these, are they?
I'll tell you, I just
Yeah.
don't. I never paid attention until I started doing all this stuff with LEDs and that now, or trying to. I never paid attention to that stuff. You know,
Yeah, this way.
very
This,
baby steps into this thing. Like I'm
remember,
surprised I had the other layout even running, for what I know.
you remember back in those good old days, and you hear the kids still talking about it, about equations and formulas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is where, when you start doing this sort of stuff, this is where you think, shit, I should have paid attention in class when they were talking about that. Yeah.
Okay, bigger battery for longer life, but still the same voltage. Okay, hey, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You just think that the bigger battery would be a bigger voltage, you know. But what about
No.
those big ones? What about those big lantern batteries? What's the voltage on those? Same thing.
9 volts.
You know what I mean? Those are 9 volts.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
big,
yeah,
you know, the big chunky ones that look like this cup.
Yeah.
You put in
Yeah.
a lantern.
Yeah, but it all is, it's like a car battery. It all depends on the charge that it actually, what's the word? It's the current out of the battery.
So by 9 volt battery, you will find 6 AAA batteries. Oh shit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Oh shit.
that's right. But it's all in a pack. If you
Right.
strip them all apart, you've got all these little ones inside of it.
Now I'm gonna have to do that.
I
Just
done them with those emergency distress beacons because they actually got them in a pack like that, and you actually got to pull the battery pack apart to stop the beacon from going off. When the batteries were going off, obviously.
Got batteries on it for it. I'll be there.
Yeah, well, that's right.
I just, don't,
but then
I've
you
just never given much thought to any of that, really. I just put a battery in and use it. Probably like most of us dummies out here, we don't really think about it.
Yeah, but there's a word for it. I can't think of the word. It's something to do with the kick or current or whatever. I can't think of the name, but there is a specific word for it. The reason why you have a certain sizes, especially like the car battery. I mean, you can have a car battery the size of almost the size of this cup, or this little box. That's 14 volts. But it's the kick that actually inside the battery that allows it, say, for like in a car, how much kick the battery can actually give to turn that starter motor over, to turn your motor over. I mean, you can put anything in it, but hello, NS5107, I don't know who that is, but
hey, I'm going to have to cut out of here already. I got some things to get done. Wife wants to
I'm going to get going too. Look how long I was only going to go on for an hour, and then 2.5 hours later.
Yeah, this is
Well, at least
how
I
it
remember.
works. We always get on some kind of subject that keeps things going, which is good. I learned a lot on these days, man.
Well, it is Sunday, Monday.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's Sunday, but we got some stuff we're doing here. We got a place we're going, some kind of show. I don't know, some Van Gogh art thing or something. I don't know. It's not more. It's
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've got to get to sleep. We've got to do some important paperwork stuff tomorrow, and I've got to go for an MRI scan this week as well. I've got to go to Sydney on Tuesday. It's the first time I've been in Sydney now for, Christ, 8 months.
I'm going to try and head back to the mall train show they got up here at West Plains at the fairgrounds.
You guys are really good on rubbing it in, aren't you, Randall?
Say that again?
You're really good on rubbing it in. We haven't had a train show in like 2 years.
Yeah, we got our October display going on up there with the club, and I went there last weekend. We ran some trains. tried to be real smart and consist a couple engines together. Not only did I screw mine up, but there was a kid there had a Burlington Northern GP50, and I didn't realize his had the same factory default address as mine did, so his wouldn't work either after that. And
Oh no.
we finally figured it out. We was messing with it, and I told him, I said, let me try something. So I went in there and I hit the consist button on the controller and hit the consist address that I ran my engines on, and his engine started working. So, so now I've got to figure out a way to get all three of them on there and delete the consist. I wasn't able to do it this weekend because I'm working, but
Yeah, you should have been able just to kill the consist, and it would have killed it. His should
yeah,
have been,
I think on this one though, I'm gonna have to enter the consist address and then delete it.
yeah. I mean, you need to have everything on there.
Yeah, but unless it's a TSG one, actually, well, it's a TCS decoder, sorry, TCS decoder. I've got two of the wow sound ones there. If you have them in a consist, keep them in a consist, take them to one layer and then bring it back home again. You can't do nothing with it. The only way you can fix it is reset the decoder.
Hey,
Yeah,
Randall, Rick wants to know if it's NCE. Is it NCE? Rick wants to know.
They use a MRC Express DCC system.
Is that what you consisted them in?
Yeah, that's what they're consisted on. I used consist address 3, and I don't think there's anything wrong with the engine.
I never used 3. 3 is the factory default.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the engines because they'll fire up and the sounds and everything. So I know I didn't blow the decoders up in them. So
what do you use at home?
I think all I gotta do is just get them on the track. Put the consist address on them and then clear the consist.
Do you use NCE at home, Randall?
Theirs is a MRC system.
And which one's yours at home?
And I use the MRC too, but mine's the Prodigy Advanced Squared, the starter system.
Yeah, so I stayed away from them because when I send a lot of guys with the MRCs down here, plus trying to get components out here, I just stayed away from it.
I hadn't got around to trying it yet. I was going to put one of them on the track and see, or put one of them on my layout with the Prodigy Advanced system and see what it would do on it, just see if it works or not. And, but I think it's just simply just getting them back on the club layout and clearing the consist on. I think we should be golden. So,
it's supposed to, Rick. Yeah, it's supposed to, but with the TCS decoder.
Hey guys, I got to kick out of here, man. I'll talk to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick on too.
All right, Dave, have a good one.
All right.
Okay, Randall, you take care. Dave, thank you for joining me. Rick, me mate, you take care as well. I'll talk to you during the week, and whoever else is watching. Talk to you later, Troy. You behave yourself, and you leave Rick's relatives alone. He will be very upset.
Thanks for letting me come on, Artie. Take care, all.
Anytime I'm here, I'll see you next Sunday, Randall. I'll be on again next Sunday, same time.
Yeah, hopefully I'll see you next Sunday if I'm not sleeping or working. So, all right, take it easy.
Okay, take care. See you later, Rick.
Yep.
See you later, Randall. And anybody else is in the background, you have a good, safe week and look after yourselves. Bye for now.